Hello, Tekla users. You are listening or watching again Tekla Podcast, and where we are all about the practical knowledge about Tekla, how we can help you, and what the kind of information can help you. There are two things that we are keeping in our mind to how we can raise Tekla efficiency, get things done faster, and how we can minimize our project mistakes and raise the quality is the main thing. You can listen this podcast or watch this YouTube video. Today we are planning to mostly to talk, maybe a little bit show in the end one project, but I think if you will listen this podcast episode, then you will get most of the information. Today we have a guest from Esplan, Estonian company, and this company is more or less already 30 years old, from 1991, and they have done many projects. The special or difference is that they are looking different kind of improvements outside of the box and try to find different how innovative solutions, let's say so. And I have looked also the different videos, the different presentations, and if you look for the YouTube channel, Esplan channel, then you will find some very interesting developments that they have done or what they are introducing there. So I recommend to check them out also. But today we have our guest. He's Raido Schiff. I hope it went well. It's not normal Estonian family name. And he's a structural engineer in Esplan since 2016, I think. And today we will talk from the perspective of one Tekla user or the structural engineer who is using Tekla structures. So we can see what kind of systems or how they are doing in Esplan and what is there going on. So welcome, Raido. And was it correct, the introduction or the facts that I told, or do you have something to add to what I told?
Yeah. Hi, Stan. Thanks for having me. And hi, everybody who are listening or watching. And yeah, the introduction was lovely. And you got, I think you've got everything correct. I've been in Esplan for 5 years now, since 2016. But I've been a Tekla user since 2012. So yeah, that's about me and Tekla.
2012, it was quite long time ago. How was the start at the first for you? How it went then?
That was version 16. Was the first one that I saw.
Not 2016.
No, not 2016, just 16, with the lovely toolbars and confusing user experience.
But how did you start learning, or how did you start using Tekla structures? Did you start using on your own hand or by your own, or how was it?
At that time, I went to work as a technician in Maruehitus, Hi, and I learned by starting modeling. Or actually, I started with drawings at first, just making shop drawings and general arrangement drawings for steel structures mostly. Then I got handed smaller modeling jobs, then larger modeling jobs, and so it went. And then when I went to work for Esplan, I took my Tekla usage with me and then started using Tekla there. I was the first one from the structural department who used some sort of modeling software. And now I think everyone at Esplan is using modeling software, not just 2D drawings, or maybe the landscape architecture. Those people still do most of their work on plans.
Yeah, very good. I have noticed that many companies use this tactic when they are taking a new engineer or draftsperson to the company, the engineering company. Then at first they give this drawing finalization or these drawing tasks, doing the draftsperson work, because once the model quality is good, model is well done, then the drawings is you can't do so much damage, and it's good place to start for new people, and then step by step this way, as you mentioned, to go up. I would like to ask, do you know, Raido, why Esplan chose Tekla structures to use? It's not the cheapest software on the market, but
Well, actually, at the time we were comparing it with Revit, of course, and with what was the software from Germany?
Nemetschek.
Yeah, Nemetschek. Allplan, I think.
Allplan, yes.
Yeah. But the price difference was not that high at the time, since we were using concrete modeling licenses only. We don't do shop drawings in Esplan or shape drawings or anything like that. We finish our detailed design with general arrangement drawings. Shop drawings are for another phase of the project. So yeah, we started using construction modeling licenses, and those weren't like terribly more expensive than Revit was. And I don't know anything about Revit. I tried. I've worked in another company, and I tried to get started on Revit, but the whole logic was like kind of twisted, and I didn't enjoy that. Yeah, and that's how we started using Tekla. And at first I was alone. Then I started, I don't know, not teaching as a teacher, but like giving tips and tricks to my colleagues in the structural department. And now all 9 of us are modeling. Okay, some people are doing strictly like design and analysis, and then we have other people who are working on the models. But yeah, most of us are completely Tekla capable.
Very good, very good. You started talking, or you mentioned already a little bit about how you went with the knowledge base and you started giving tips, not teaching. So how was the starting in basically, let's say, in a company from scratch? What were the different steps? How did you implement in Tekla? And how went in the end teaching the users to use?
Well, it wasn't like a clean and beautiful process that anyone had given much thought of. It was just like mostly figured out on the way. But I started with setting up like templates and usual naming schemes for modeling parts and objects. Then we developed like company standard for naming and numbering, all sorts of stuff. Then I contacted you and asked for your help and your tips and tricks. I got all of them.
Yeah, now I'm sharing with all the world, not only
Yeah.
companies.
And that's then we have this massive table for our like modeling standard, and I can see that it's open on the modeling guys secondary screens all the time. So that's how we use it mostly. And of course we have the like standard object settings and stuff like that. But about the teaching part, I know we just like kind of started. Well, the first thing that anyone new did was do all of the tasks for studying in Tekla campus, I think, was it? Yeah, I pointed in the campus direction. Then anyone, all the new guys and girls started from there, and then as we went along, then they had questions, and I hopefully had some answers, and here we are.
Yes, Today, if you would start a new company, then what would be the first things? Do you have any idea what would be the order, the more lean order, and also what are the maybe some mistakes so you should or would avoid doing like starting from scratch? What you would recommend others?
Okay, a more thorough manual on how to use the standard if you work out some sort of standard. And then I don't know if I could, maybe if someone's like a completely blank slate that doesn't know anything about structural engineering or engineering drawings or structures modeling, then some sort of seminar or something would be helpful, probably. But I can't think of anything else that new people should do except, start using the software and then you learn on the way. And as you get better, then all of the questions get harder and then you get more better. But about the pitfalls or like holes not to step in, that's a good question. I would have to think about that for a while.
Okay, no problem. But what have you seen if there are new users coming to use Tekla? Have you seen any kind of like, let's say, in every company there are these typical mistakes, rookie mistakes that new users tend to make? Do you have something in your mind?
Hygiene, model hygiene is something that always gets us in trouble. If you have something with the wrong prefixes or other filter settings that don't work in the drawings the correct way, that's always trouble, especially for new starters or new colleagues.
Yeah, so you have done your Tekla drawing, let's say like automation, these kind of automation rules, and these rules are connected to the modeling rules, so these kind of like naming rules, and this is the main thing, yes, as I understand.
Yeah.
I have taken also, if some company comes to me and asks like, okay, Sten, can you help me? Then this is always my first question. Please show me your modeling rules. And you can't imagine how many times why it's important, everybody are doing the way as they wish and then as they see in this project. And then I'm like, no. We start with modeling rules and then we will see what we can do next, because this is the base for everything, especially when it comes into the automation.
Yeah, the workplace I started at, Maruehitus, we had this huge project from a huge engineering company from France, I think. And they gave us a manual that was like 150 or 170 pages about modeling standards. I like fell off my chair when I got the document. But I think I'm now beginning to understand why all of it was needed. So modeling standards are really important to keep the process going correctly.
Yeah, I see the modeling standards. I like also this kind of checklist, and I like to tell again this good example of McDonald's. It's in different countries. It don't matter if there is like an old person doing these hamburgers or really schoolboy or schoolgirl, but everywhere you get the same hamburger all over the world. It don't matter who is doing, and this is all about the system and following these steps. And this is why I love this kind of like manuals and checklists. But there's one thing that they should be as easy as possible, not some like really long text that nobody can read or understand, but really as simple as possible. And I remember also when I was working in an engineering company, then we got from another company, Latvian concrete company, that we had the podcast episode also, UPB. We got their manual, so like checklists and or example drawings how we need to do. and really good, really well, easy to see, okay, what we have and how we have to do, and we follow the rules, and this way everything works much better. But the next question would be, what are your top tips or tricks? How can we improve the quality or minimize project mistakes in Tekla models?
Well, I would love to say that take your time and check your models like thoroughly and something like that, but there's no time. But what you still can do is, model as good as you can with the standards that you've set up. Use as many standard objects or standard components or components from the warehouse as much as you can, so there's as little like handcraft or like manual labor as possible. And then what else? Of course, there's a whole BIM issue with all of the rest of the designing disciplines, which we'll get to, I think. So yeah, model checking and class checking, and of course the checklists that you mentioned, those are important. And it's always another good idea to have like another pair of eyes go over the model, not just one guy or two guys doing the model, and then you can see, you'll see it when the drawings come out. It's not going to work like that. So yeah, thorough checks along the way, because if you don't check it like the model like daily, and then you get the result after 2 months, you're not going to find small mistakes. So yeah, keep an eye on the model.
Very good. So you mentioned different checklists. Do you have some checklists in your mind? What are you are following? That's like drawing something, different kind of free bars would be in, or what kind of, can you name some checklists?
Well, the checklists I use myself are mostly like about structural detailing or like structural design mostly. I haven't used Tekla myself for a couple of years now, but well, one checklist is to check all of the reports for objects and then cast units, and see that there's any embeds without the cast unit, and or dummy bolts or anywhere or something like that.
Very good. Then one thing is the rising the quality. Okay, if we know that we are using different checklists and different kind of like second pair of eyes is very good also, because if we are only doing our things, then we don't many times notice our mistakes, but if you look somebody's other work, then it's easier to notice that something is wrong here, and then you go exactly, and then you can bring it out better. But do you have, Raido, any tips or how we can raise the efficiency, like how we can get the things faster done in Tekla, how we can finish our projects faster?
Well, it's the same thing about that I mentioned during the quality question, that again, use as much like pre-made components and items as you can, because anything that you make from like by hand is going to take a lot of time and is prone to mistakes. So yeah, repetition or using the same kind of solutions in different projects is the thing that will give you or us efficiency. And unfortunately, in structural engineering, if you have like a broad field of different kind of projects, then it's not much you can copy from one model to another.
But yeah, you mentioned using different. Before you mentioned these drawing automatizations, they are good, and now you mentioned also different using the tools. One are the standard tools that come with Tekla, and another is going to warehouse, taking the extensions. There are many extensions to search in, but what kind of, have you done any kind of like tools inside the Esplan also? Can you bring out some developments that you have done or some optimizations?
Yeah, sure. Most of the tools that we use from Tekla, like as a standard install, are all of the Peiko stuff, because in Estonia we use a lot of Peiko's components and like embeds. About custom components, we have developed a few for rebar around hollow cores and inside hollow cores, because I haven't found any that are like already good enough in the warehouse, or I don't think there are any standard components for hollow cores reinforcement. Are there?
There is, at least I know, one strand pattern, hollow core strand, but I'm not 100%. I haven't worked in hollow core factory myself, so I'm not sure. Is it the thing that solves everybody's hollow core strand problem? But at least one tool there is.
Yeah, that's again for the like shop drawing of the hollow core, but I meant anchoring bars for the hollow cores that you put like inside the hollow ends on the hollow cores, and the perimeter rebars and those kind. We've had a couple of more during the years, but mostly they've like fallen into history. and the rest of the components are getting quite good in Tekla, like the components for reinforced concrete, the sandwich of wall elements, and the window detailing, and all of those are quite good, or at least we can use them. Maybe there are some smaller details that would need fixing, but yeah, we still try to use as much as we can.
Yeah. I know that you have done like, or in your company, they have done different kind of developments, like outside of Tekla also about management. One general question, what kind of, do you know, or what kind of other softwares do you use in your everyday life, or engineers are using in Esplan?
Where for analysis, we use a couple of different softwares. Of course, we have Autodesk's robot structural analysis, which is very popular here in Estonia. And then another one, really good software that I like is Strusoft's FemDesign for analysis. Then, of course, Office software. And then all of the like IFC viewers. Everyone has their own favorite.
Which are your favorite ones?
I'm using BIM Collab Zoom, since we're using the cloud for our issues, BIM Collab's cloud, which is really good.
What are some benefits? Why you like the BIM Collab? What are like why not?
The keyboard shortcuts. You can save your own view. Like you can load all of the different IFC models for the project. Mostly there are like 8 or so such different IFCs from different disciplines. And you can save your own view, and you can like turn it on and off with a keyboard shortcut. And then Another great feature is the section box, in which you can like select an element and then create like 6 cut planes all around it, so you can like see that one place really quickly. And then of course the BIM Collab Cloud, which we're using because the BIM Collab Cloud has its own little software extensions for most of the softwares that we use in all of the different disciplines, except I think for the electricity engineers, they don't have an extension in their software, but all of the rest of the designers have an extension that puts all of the issues like right into your own software.
Okay. You mentioned the collaboration. Can you little bit like tell me how goes collaboration with the different parties in Esplan, or how you are doing this, working with others?
It's interesting. We have like a couple of short meetings every week with the whole of the design team, where we go over all the issues from the clash checks and other like information needs. So that's how we collaborate. And then of course we talk to each other or message each other. At the moment, when we were all in the office, then we could talk, but right now it's all instant messages. And yeah, we make issues for each other and then try to keep track of them and resolve those issues.
So inside the company also, especially now with the COVID, when most or some people are working at home, then you use BIM Collab platform basically for most of the communication between and working together.
Well, yeah, we generate issues there, but if there's like a discussion going along with the issue, then the discussion is going on mostly in Teams. But yeah, we generate the issues there. So in BIM Collab, because that's the only place you can find them afterwards. Because if you like generate an issue or tell someone you have a problem in Teams, you're not going to find it afterwards. It's going to be buried under the hundreds of messages that you get each day. So yeah, the list of like active issues in BIM Collab is really helpful for collaboration between the different project parties.
Yes. Talking about checking the models and co-working, then I noticed from Esplan webpage that you are providing, or Esplan is providing service of BIM model checking and quality control service. Have you done these services also, or somebody else is doing, or what do you know? What are the things that you are checking? What is so in essence, what makes one BIM model like quality? What you're checking? What are the checking points that?
Yeah, it's not my field, but we have BIM managers or BIM coordinators in our company, and they use Solibri model checker for checking the models. And the basic stuff is what they check for quality is that all of the coordinates match and the floors and sections are all the same for different project parties. So when you're talking about the third floor, everyone is talking about the third floor. Not we had that happen in one project. It's horrible. I made an opening in a floor slab, and it came out that the interior architects had the floors in another order. But we got it fixed before they built it. So yeah, all good.
These things happen. Talking about talking about interesting cases and interesting projects, do you have, I think, yes, do you have some project to bring forward, some interesting project that you had a lot of fun, or there was something different or special about this, let's say, Tekla BIM project?
Well, every project is special at Esplan because we have a very wide field of different projects that we use. We have like office buildings, apartment buildings, schools, kindergartens, municipality buildings, factories. Okay, about the interesting projects, or you mean that if I could show you some projects?
Yeah, some specific one.
This was or is a school in Jõhvi, and what made this project really interesting and difficult is the architecture, of course. It has these huge cantilevers. If I can turn, the architects were from Gauss Architected, and it's this lovely triangular shape building between a rectangular building and a round building. And what made it interesting was the architecture, and what made it really, really difficult was fitting all of the things that the building needs into this building, because the space was really confined, and we had to put all of the like HVAC machinery on different roofs and different like awnings, and that's what made it difficult. It was also interesting because of the different structures that we have here. We have precast wall elements, precast steel element, or not precast steel, steel elements, and frame structures with the timber beams as the like secondary roof beams, and lots of different small details here and there.
Looks really great. Do you know more or less how much man-hour you have put on this project then?
I don't want to look at it from that perspective.
Too painful.
Yeah, it's very painful.
But it looks very nice. How is generally in Esplan? How goes to the project workflow? Can you give step by step some overview?
Yeah, usually we start with preliminary design. Yeah, then the architectural team like gets their vision together with the client. The structural engineers help out, try to find the places that could bear some loads. Usually there aren't many places that can be load bearing. Everything has to float. If it's like a difficult project, which most are, then we start modeling as quickly as possible for the structural part too, just to get space reservations for structures, like so everyone could know where beams and columns are and where like shear walls and stuff like that. Because if you don't model those things in quickly, then you're not going to be able to find space for them with through all of the ducts and other piping that is needed for a good functioning building these days. And then after the preliminary design, we usually have the detailed design straight after that. Sometimes we have the tender stage between those two. it's main design in Estonian, but I don't know what it is in English. But then, yeah, we keep working on the analysis, and the model gets more detailed and detailed as we go along. We usually give out like these preliminary drawings without any annotations or dimensions, just so everyone could use them as references, because using IFCs as references in other modeling or other disciplines softwares is still painful, unfortunately. So that's where we make the preliminary like plans and sections and elevations. And yeah, that's how it goes until it's the end. They're out of time, and then everyone's mad at you.
So in Esplan, how is it normally? The one man gets the project and goes from start to the end with this project, or there you have gone this way that you divide different tasks between different people, like who is doing the checking, who is doing the calculations, who is doing the preliminary project, who is like modifying the drawings in the end. So how is with that?
Yeah, ideally it would be that like the responsible structural engineer starts with the project and goes all the way to the end with it. Usually, since the deadlines and schedules are so tight, one person isn't enough to analyze it and keep track of all of the project and all of the little details that go along with it. So yeah, we work in teams. We usually divide it somehow, the project, if it's dividable, like a person is working with foundations or piles or something, like everything underground, and the other structural engineer is working with the stuff above ground, and then there's other people modeling and then checking the models. Yeah, and we use lots of spreadsheets to keep track of who's doing what and where. We're also using Jira software or the project managers are using Jira software to keep track of like the man hours and some tasks. But there are so many tasks that you need to do when structural designing something, that putting all those tasks into Jira would like fill the internet or something like that. So yeah, all of the smaller tasks are kept between the engineers. We're not gonna bother the project managers with that detailed information.
Yes, I have heard. I just from my last, I was giving the Tekla basic training, and then there was question also about working different engineers working in the same model, and what happens if they by accident go and modify the same objects, and yes, my advice was also like you have to somehow, or like I gave some ideas how they can control who is doing in what area, and then this is like crucial to keep separated. So as I understood, in Esplan you are using some Excel, or not Excel, Google Drive or Excel sheets, or some like these kind of special documents where everybody are writing every day then on which area they're working, or how it goes.
Yeah, we try to use like keep the same people on like the same areas at least. But yeah, in spreadsheets, like cloud spreadsheets that everyone can edit at the same time and keep the information flowing.
I have heard about this Jira and in many times software engineers and software engineering companies are using this. So do you know, have you looked inside, are you managing also what's the Tekla or structural engineer cases that you're using, or what the benefits are that you get there?
Well, I suppose you could use it for all of the stuff that we do on the spreadsheets, but it would be really cumbersome somehow. Feels like that at least. But the project managers, yeah, they estimate like time for different parts of the projects and use Gantt charts from Jira and in there. But yeah, I've tried to keep myself out of it as much as possible. I have a lot going on already.
Yeah. But do you know what kind of KPIs or key perform indications in Esplan they are tracking what they are doing about planning? And I have heard, I think even seen that you are using also this Power BI software. It's a really cool dashboard. Can you bring some examples of this also? What kind of information or data you are tracking, and based on what you are doing different kind of decisions on management level?
Well, Power BI is used. I think it's used for like time tracking and issue management as well. So there's like this. If a project manager wants to set it up, a couple do, a couple don't. But yeah, you can see like a live, graphically understandable chart of how many issues are like active and what are closed and how is the project doing. Another thing I think that they're using is to see how the time is spent on or how much time has been spent on a project already. But key performance indicators, I don't know about that one.
It's behind your back, but you mentioned the time tracking. So is Power BI that's tracking also? You are using some third parties that track the time somehow, and then they go to Power BI, or how it's?
Yeah, we log our time in Jira, and then it magically appears somewhere. That's how they do it.
Very good. Do you put there also the tasks, or what kind of information every person has to enter about the time they spent?
Like a small description of what you did for whatever entry you're putting into the time logger. We mostly have like 3 or 4 tasks for each project. At least I do, for like documentation, modeling, analysis. And we're not going to go any like more detailed than that in Jira, because you're not going to find the correct task if there's too many, because you're not working on only one project at a time, right?
Of course, never. Yes, about the time tracking, then I myself personally use Toggle. Everybody can find this. It's really good time tracking, and this is how I give also to my clients the reports. So where did I spend the time that they are paying for, and then they can see really nicely. So if any listener is looking for a free solution, it's free for small companies or like small persons, like individual persons, and if the more projects or companies, somewhere comes the limit where it comes paid version, but I have all the time. It's free version has been enough for me, and this time tracking is really good. We do decisions based on our the results, or like indicators, and then we can do ourselves different kind of decisions which we should change or improve in the future, or also do the reporting to others. So time tracking is definitely something to do. Raido, you mentioned putting different information to Jira, but does Esplan use any kind of user-defined attributes also, as this is the interesting out of the box using Tekla? Do you have any user-defined attributes? What you're using, statuses or something, dates?
In Tekla, yeah, we have a couple of user-defined attributes, but mostly we get along with the attributes that are already in the default settings. Since we're using construction modeling licenses, or what are we going to use now? They ended all of those.
That's my question. Do you know what you are going to use?
Well, the viewer version is not going to be enough for us. So that was what Carbon, was it? No, yeah, Carbon was the viewer, right?
I think yes, and Graphite was the second one.
Yeah, that's the one that we're gonna have to start using. Yeah. So yeah, since we were using the construction modeling licenses, we had a couple of different UDAs for numbering stuff, because the construction modeling license doesn't let you number things automatically with Tekla. We had manual labor for that. But since we were only numbering like assemblies and cast units, then it wasn't like too bad, but cumbersome still. And then we have the user-defined attributes that are required by the RCAS, like state company for buildings. Yeah.
Basic national requirements.
Yeah. But other than that, I don't remember having anything more special.
Very good, very good. Okay, the last questions. What do you think, or what do you know? Where goes Esplan with Tekla in the future? What is the focus, or what's the plan?
Well, graphite licenses are on the horizon, which had a couple of more features than the construction modeling did. I think it now allows you to number rebars and cast in place concrete. So that's something good. Something that we'll need to edit our current system around. But other than that, we'll still use Tekla, because I don't know that there's anything better around anywhere. It's like the fastest way to model structures, and it has the most tools for different details. And we'll just keep on working on our quality and efficiency.
Very good, very good. Keep going on. But what do you think? What are the general, if we see construction industry as a whole, thinking outside of Tekla only, then what do you think where construction industry will go, for example, in 5 years or 10 years?
Well, I really hope that they'll actually start using the models on the site, because right now it's very minimal. And hopefully all of the what's AR, amplified reality? No, it's not. It's augmented reality. Amplified would also be cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, AR could be helpful for checking all of the piping and other stuff, and the tolerances and those things. But yeah, if they could start using the models on site, it would be revolutionary.
Yeah, I have some
So we
frame-
could,
yeah.
so we
Sorry.
wouldn't need to make so many drawings.
Yes. The dream is, and there are some projects I have heard here and there where they are doing building and everything without any drawings, and at least in Estonia we can put the digital signatures that has the same value or the same how to say, same meaning that normal in the eyes of law. It's the same as normal signature, so there is a possibility to, and there are projects who are doing, or companies who are doing all the projects without any drawings. And I remember when I was engineer also, it was the same thing. I was dreaming that, okay, we are doing so nice, beautiful 3D models, and we are putting it's a lot of information, and in the construction site they're still looking the drawings. But I have to say that I have seen more and more friends who are working on the construction site. They come and ask, like, companies also, that okay, then we get more and more these IFC models. What can we do? And then I have given some trainings also about okay, what these people can do on the construction site with these IFC models, and how can they take the quantities, view, see the mistakes for the communication, all these kind of things, and let's hope that it gets better. So Raido, any last words, wishes, recommendations?
Stay safe, stay healthy. No.
Good. So thank you for this great interview, and I hope you got some ideas what you could take to your company or your use cases, and what to do and how to use Tekla. If you would like to get more information about Esplan and about what they are doing, or contact them, then I recommend to go check out their webpage, esplan.ee. You can Google it also, and you find quite easily. In LinkedIn, you search for Esplan and you find quite many. They are putting some posts there time to time. And I personally love this, as I mentioned at the beginning, these YouTube videos that go and check out Esplan YouTube channel, and they have really nice videos there, also about their different kind of developments, what they have done. And yes, I remember it was really cool, and you will find some useful things there also. If you like this episode, you found it useful, then follow us also in YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn. In YouTube and Facebook, you should find or search for DS Guide, and in LinkedIn, I think it's better to find my personal profile, Sten Dudak, and follow or subscribe to our channel to get more notifications, and where we come out with these kind of new articles or podcast episodes. So we try to give you good information and useful to help out as many Tekla users as possible, as we helped one day also Esplan a little bit with our knowledge. So I hope it was useful, and see you next episode.